Just 30 hours into the Russian invasion of Ukraine, hundreds are already dead or injured. An estimated 100,000 have fled their homes as the Ukrainian government bans men aged 18 to 60 from leaving the country to ensure its defence. Russia's forces have been relentless, carrying out more than 200 strikes from air and sea as large numbers of ground troops advance on Ukraine's second largest city, Kyiv, 20 kilometres from the border with Russia in the west.
This is a deliberate, cold-blooded and long-planned invasion. The Kremlin's intentions are clear for the world to see.
North of the capital Kyiv, Putin's ground forces have seized control of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster site.
This unlawful and dangerous hostage-taking, which could upend the routine civil service efforts required to maintain and protect the nuclear waste facilities, is obviously incredibly alarming.
Closer to the capital, the two countries are fighting for the Hostomel cargo airport on Kyiv's outskirts, with both sides claiming to have control of the strategically important airfield. As more and more countries slam down sanctions on Russia, the world is wondering just how far Putin will push to re-establish an Iron Curtain.
Well, Ken Henbert is an Australian who's been living in Kyiv for the last 3 years. Ken, you're right in the middle of this. Are you planning to stay or to get out of town?
I am planning to get out of town as soon as I can find a safe way out.
How are you going to do that?
Buses and trains, as far as I can see, are booked solid, so they aren't really an option. But there are some ride-sharing apps. I'm hoping to find something through that.
Yeah, obviously the Australian government's been saying for many weeks for Australians to get out of there, and I know for a lot of people this is a sort of day-by-day scenario. What's changed for you? What's changed your decision?
I had always said that as soon as Kyiv came under direct threat, then I would get out. Before that, there was no imminent threat to Kyiv, but things escalated very quickly, much more quickly than I think anybody ever expected.
What we're seeing on TV looks absolutely terrifying. How are you feeling and what's it like for you there right now?
It's actually very strangely quiet in the centre of the city, especially during curfew last night. It's the quietest I've ever heard Kyiv. But there are occasional bomb blasts in the distance, and I do know people who are much closer to the front lines. But here in the centre, it's quite eerie.
Do you have any idea of how far away those bomb blasts are that you're hearing?
I believe somewhere in the range of about 25 kilometres.
There are reports of people hiding out in the subway. Is that an option for you at all?
It is a potential. I have 2 subway stations very close to me, but at the moment I'm staying in my apartment. It is safe and well stocked until something changes.
Ken, Zelensky's accusing Biden of leaving Ukraine hanging, not being hard and fast enough with the sanctions and the supports to Ukraine. Is that how it feels, that Ukraine has been left to fend for itself?
I think very much so. The people here, especially the local people, have more of an opinion on direct intervention being a solution as opposed to financial interventions. Financial interventions to them are basically meaningless.
All of the politics of this aside, you are there right now, even if you're planning to leave. There's talk that the Russians might actually overwhelm Kyiv pretty quickly. Do you have any sense of what happens to you in that circumstance? Are you thinking all of that through?
I am. I hope that it doesn't happen in the next couple of hours. There is, as I said earlier, there is combat nearby, but it is very much a push and pull. There's no overpowering going on. But yeah, I am aware of what is happening around me as best as I can be.
Do you feel afraid? Do you feel scared?
Not really. Yesterday, despite everything that was happening, I washed dishes, I made some bread. I went about a very normal day.
Thanks so much for your insight, Ken, and stay safe.
No problem. Thank you.